there's an argument going on in my comment section about natural birth, natural labor, natural is the best, natural is the only way to go, and you mess with nature, that's when the problems are. Should labor and birth be left alone more? For sure, absolutely. However, I have had patients refuse treatment for really scary things because the treatment is not natural. And the word natural has killed babies, and I have seen it with my own 2 eyeballs. So in honor of this argument, I'm going to give you some hypothetical scenarios of some very natural things that happen in labor and birth. Number 1, your water naturally breaks at home, and we're naturally waiting on labor. But in that water, your baby pooped, which is very natural. It's like thick green pea soup, okay? Very natural for babies to do that sometimes. Sometimes when they're naturally in distress or naturally overdue, sometimes that happens. And then we stay at home to prevent anything unnatural from happening. Stay at home 2 or 3 days, and labor never comes. And then we come to the hospital, we got a raging infection called chorioamnionitis. Then we refuse the IV and antibiotics that would be necessary to treat that infection because they aren't, you guessed it, natural. Seen that many times, and you can guess what natural consequences come from that decision. Another hypothetical is if you naturally decide after 3 or 4 C-sections to have a free birth, which means that you are at home with no one who is medically trained in order to do things natural. And another one would be that maybe you are naturally colonized with a bacteria called group beta strep. I was for both pregnancies. And then during labor, you decide not to receive antibiotics for that because they are not natural. And your baby is birthed, and during that birth process, they naturally acquire that group beta strep bacteria and end up with a natural group beta strep meningitis. Or maybe you are someone who has been offered a medical induction because medically there's some things going on that baby needs to come out, and we decline that 4 times because it is not natural to have an induction. And then we come in at like 42, 43 weeks pregnant, put your baby on the monitor, and your baby is DYING. And then when we talk about how important it is that we have to go right now, we have to go right this second and have a C-section to save your baby, we decline that because that is not the natural way to have a baby. What I want to tell you is that nature is morally neutral. Nature doesn't give 2 craps about the outcome or your feelings. Nature is neither good nor bad. Again, should labor and birth be left alone more? 1,000,000%. But there have been babies that have died because of the word natural. And I have held those babies, and I have bathed those babies, and I have dressed those babies. And it's so hard for me to hear the words from a parent, "It was God's will."